name is Autumn Sacramone. I'm a history major and an education minor at UMass Lowell in my senior year.
Hi, I'm Julie Bornstein. I'm a business major focusing on accounting. I'm in my first semester of my senior year.
So Spread the Love is curriculum units that are customized for teachers in low-income struggling school districts like Lawrence and Lowell. And so what we wanted to talk about was the issue that curriculum unit organization with low-income school districts is really kind of all over the place compared to school districts that are really excelling in their academics. The teachers don't have time between putting the effort into the children, the oversized classrooms. It's really hard for them to get organized and to get the information to students. We had talked to teachers. They said that that was one of the biggest issues that they had. Also, students reaching information from home when they don't have computers and schools can't supply resources. So what we wanted to do was talk to different people and see how we could help this. There's many similar products out there. There's free curriculum online all the time. None of them are customized, and none of them are exclusive to low-income school districts. There are also not exclusive to school districts who have 50% or more students on free or reduced lunch. They're able to work on any electronic devices, so that means if students are at home but they only have a smartphone, they can still get onto our website, and it's very easily accessible through their smartphones. It's compatible, there's platforms for it. So what we had decided to do was create these curriculum units. We decided that we will work on this after graduation and try to get it into school systems. It's already in the Lowell school systems. We put it into Lowell High School. The teacher there really likes it. He's really enjoying it. His students are enjoying it, which is really nice. And it's valuable because it affects our communities. These people are going to graduate and they're either going to become non-productive members of society because they didn't have the resources they needed to reach their full potential and make these accomplishments happen for them. And these students are really smart. They're really outgoing and energetic and into their schoolwork, but they just don't have the books. So for resources, we need at least $5,000, $1,000 for travel expenses and networking. Obviously, it's going to be a nonprofit company, so we're going to need to network with different people that can donate money, apply for government grants, talk to different sponsorships. We need $2,000 to hire experts in specific fields to create these customized lesson plans. So, for example, we would hire teachers over the summer that only work for about a week. They put everything that a teacher needs in their curriculum unit, and then we will give it to a graphic designer who will then edit it. So we need another $2,000 for them, and to buy and sustain a permanent URL, and that's what we'd like to do. And this is the product that's already being used at Lowell High School. It's a curriculum unit on genocide. So as you can see, we have a discussion guide for students and teachers. We have an Armenian genocide page that has an oral account of the Armenian genocide, a historiography. We have the Holocaust and the Cambodian genocide as well, which is really cool because it's central to a lot of students who go, Cambodian students. And then we have community resources for them if they want to find out more about this, or if they want to check out different avenues that they could go down to help with this problem, which it really affects their area, so they really get into it.
How did you come up with your $5,000 amount? I mean, I know it's 1, 2, and 2. Is that a dot, or is that something you really looked at and say, these teachers will cost me so much money, or?
Well, between us, we talked to some teachers who would be willing to donate their time, which is why we only need $1,000 to get started. And then, of course, we hire experts as well. It doesn't just have to be teachers that will help, depending on the issues that we're dealing with, or whether it's math or science or history. We hire an expert in any of the fields that we offer, and what the teachers really need will depend on who we hire.
So it's interesting you said that the one that's out there are how many different ones you had? One on genocide, which is obviously part of like a history class. What other modules do you have already?
That's the only
That's the
one
only one you have already?
Yeah.
And what other kinds of things? So that's a very topical one versus like the Civil War or something like that. So
Well, that's the next step for us. We need to be able to get in touch with these teachers at the low-income schools and see where they're lagging, what they kind of only touch upon in their curriculums because they don't have those resources, so we'd be able to provide them for them. I do know in doing research alone for this, trying to see what is out there for free. You come on to these free curriculum planners, and then once you get so far into it, it's click on this link. Well, in order to access that, you need to pay a one-time fee, or it's so much per month, and it's no longer free for them, so they can only utilize it up to a certain point. We're trying to get past that point, but it all depends on need base to start.
So, I guess you started, can you define for me what a customized curriculum is?
So the teacher would give us I'm a science teacher and I am going to do a unit on atoms, and I need different kinds of resources that will reach all different kinds of learners in my classroom, visual learners, kinesthetic learners. We'll provide all different resources based on that one topic that they need, and that will help them to have the students be able to access the information anywhere. We had talked to some students in low-income school districts, and believe it or not, they have to share books, and I don't see how you can go home and do that homework, and if you're sharing a book, you can't bring it with you, but this you can bring with you everywhere. You just get on your phone and check it out. Everything you need is there. You don't need a desktop, which students have as an issue, so really the customized curriculum unit depends on whatever the teacher needs. We will get it to them.
And mostly focused at like high school students that would,
To begin with.
99% of them have a smartphone now.
Yeah, even some of them are through government programs have free smartphones. Like, it's just a very accessible way to get the information. But the customized curriculum unit is basically, here's some resources that we've created or that our teams created, and we put them on a website that has a username and a password for the teacher and for the students. So it's very exclusive to them, because we obviously don't want our product just out there for free for everyone. I think a lot, when you get there, then that becomes a lot of the time generalized. And these kids really need specific things that help them better themselves, understand the information, and then process it, and then apply it. So we go through this with, for example, ours is that we have so far is the history one. It has the oral account, which helps for audio learners. We have the historiography. We have a documentary that goes with it. Schiffer Burke is in the documentary. It's about her family. The documentary is called Browsing for Birds, and she has no problem with us using it. I think a lot of people want to help them, and especially when you reach out to people in your community, like Lowell is a community, and people want to see these kids succeed and have a better chance at life.
So, have you done any type of research on kind of, other than what you mentioned, access to books or obviously monetary issues, but what are some of the specific issues that are exclusive to the, poor kid going to school that gets, breakfast and lunch, other than learning.
You mean what are there
levels.
other issues that don't require
Yeah,
like really
is
this?
there a list of like, okay, we know that, for example, inner city kids from this environment with this type of, poverty level that the chart you had up there have these needs. Is that information out there?
So we've talked to some teachers. We don't have like a bar graph or anything like that to show you right now. A lot of things are the follow-up for students also. So the teachers can teach in classroom. They can provide whatever materials they have on hand for them, but the second those students leave the classroom, it's out of the teacher's control. There's no follow-up. There's no additional resources for them. So those are the other learning obstacles, we'll call them, that I have two kids that are in elementary school, and my son is constantly forgetting his homework. He is capable, because of where we live in the school system he's in, of jumping online, printing out the page he's missed, and doing the assignment without me having to bus him back to school to get his homework. There are so many kids who don't have that opportunity, who say they don't have the capability of bringing a book home. They don't have the capability of going back to the school if they need to use the computers there or anything. So those are the big obstacles that we've been facing talking to these teachers.
Right, the parental support. So
Yes, and the follow-up.
We have a lawyer in our office who's a teacher at Lowell High. He's a part-time attorney. He teaches history at Lowell High School, and he had parent-teacher night you know, for the past month or so. 0 parents show.
And
So-
I'm not surprised.
Right, so I think you're onto something very significant here. Customized nature, localizing it, that they might hear about a genocide story from a business owner in their
Right.
city that they walk by. That's a terrific thing. You should definitely
Seeing the
pursue
pictures
it.
of Burke's just right there, it's like I knew
I
exactly
remember
where that
shopping.
store is, you know?
It's like,
So,
we used to
that's,
shop there.
yeah, that's what we wanna do. We really wanna just start with Lowell High School, cause we already have one teacher using that there. And, you know, expand. I mean, obviously, we'd love to go to elementary school, but we see the need more in, the kids kind of get lost in the system, I'd say, when they're in high school. They seem a little less motivated because they realize the roadblocks that are ahead of them. You know, we've read about it. There's an article called The Slanted American Tradition. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but it's about kids that go to school and they, at one age or another, you know, 16, 17, start to realize, I don't have what I need to be successful. So if we can just give them something, I mean, they're smart, they can do it. They're not behind because they don't understand or they can't understand, they just need the resources to get to that point in their lives.
What other things have you, in the discussions you've had with teachers so far, what are the other kind of topics that you're gonna drill down to next?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So I've talked to teachers about, obviously more history lessons. I'm a history major, so that's the easiest. I can do that for free by myself if I have to, and I will if I have to. But we also have talked to science teachers that would love this, and just to make like an interactive program even on the website that their students can go on their smartphone and use too. Basically, we want to hit every subject eventually. That's really broad though, it's a lot to do, it takes time. We'd like to just start out with, you know, maybe history and definitely move into the science and math, especially because kids today are like a lot better at math and science than I know my generation was, and I know that they can definitely get potential. We need STEM students, we need STEM we need STEM workers in our society right now, and I think that we definitely love to hit those topics too, and just reach out to the teachers, whatever they need, we will do for them. You know, this is very important to me.
How does the regulatory environment impact what you do? So, I mean, there's, I think, a lot of regulation around education. There's a No Child Left Behind Act. I think there are probably other federal regulations. I know there's a lot more standardized testing now. So how much of an ability do you have for customization, or how many guidelines do you have?
So that's part of us reaching out to the teachers that we want to use our programs. They give us what they need based on what they're allowed to do, and we customize it for them. So you figure, they say, okay, and I know it sounds awful, but they teach to the MCAS. They teach to the standardized testing, which is an awful way to teach, but it's what has to happen right now because of all of these regulatory standards. So if we say to them, okay, where are you behind? Where are your students not picking up so they can pass, so they can feel good about what they're doing? We can then customize it for them. It won't stop us. We just have to learn how to hurdle around it, just like the teachers are, and that's why we're another tool for them.
We'd also like to touch base on social emotional learning, which is actually getting added to Massachusetts curriculum in the next few years. So that's why we chose, you know, for the genocide to touch down on the Cambodian genocide, because students are there. So social emotional learning, I don't know if you guys know about this or not, it's just really connecting with your students and building a relationship. Students are prone to do better when they're social emotional learning. So that's what Massachusetts is now working into another standard for teachers, but I think this is actually a really good one. Get to know your students, build relationships with them, and find a way to connect material to their lives. And that's what we'll be doing. We'll be researching areas. We'll start off with Lowell. Obviously, that's what we know. Move to, you know, Lawrence, get to know what's going on there, the culture. It's a lot of research, but I think it's worth the work.
So, talked about fundraising, because obviously doing a couple over the summer and spending your $5,000, so the two things you talked about was getting grants and donations. So talk about the grants. So have you researched yet, you know, what kind of grant money is out there? Do you have anybody advising you in terms of, you know, how do I go get grant money? Because there's stuff out there. It's just, there's a lot of work to go and pull and write up the grant proposals and do that. So what's your thoughts there?
So we actually already got a government grant to put on an event to kind of introduce this idea to the community in Lowell, which will be at the Renaissance Industrial History Center. And Sheila Kirschbaum, who works there, she's amazing. She literally will help with anything. You call her and you say, I want to help the students in Lowell, and she's like, okay, what do you need? Let me just point you in the right direction. I know somebody who is on this board that makes decisions for where grants go. Please just let me know and I will help you apply. And so she's actually been working on this with this history one. We met with the principal at Lowell High School to get this into the classroom with her. She's been really helpful. So basically just using connections like that.
First of all, I'm blown away that you're still sharing books. Maybe I live in a different world. But I just didn't know that still existed like that. I think that's the most basic issue. And you hit upon the sustainability of this program. Other than community reinvestment acts or grants, I mean, that's what you're relying upon. It is because it's a nonprofit sponsorship show. So have you thought about how you're going to approach the sponsorships? Everyone's looking for a dollar to go ask. So $1 has to go home to many nonprofits. How do you feel about that?
So if you we've looked at different companies like Apple Computers, Microsoft, Coca-Cola, Amazon, Google, even
Pearson.
EF Travel, Pearson. They have platforms based on education and especially on low-income youth. This is an issue that is finally coming into the public eye more and more each year. So I don't think we would have that hard of a time. You know, maybe we won't get millions of dollars, but we'll get the money we need to keep this company going and to, you know, finally reach these school systems and expand. Once we expand, you know, we'll be able to, I mean, it's a website, regardless of what it is, it's a website. We can put Coca-Cola ads on there, we can put, you know, Apple Computers, we can put Amazon, Google. The EF Travel is great because that's for students who can't afford to travel. So we'll contact companies that are already integrated into school systems, and that way we can really reach out to them and, you know, it sounds kind of bad, but tug at their heartstrings. They are already in these school systems. Now, do they want to improve the school system that they're in so that these successful students can come back and help their communities? Because a lot of students from low-income areas, once they do become successful, usually end up going back to the community and putting.
I think you're hitting it. They do have, these large firms do have a social conscience, so I think it has some success there. So.
All right then.
One more quick question. So the technology side of this, the website, you said you had a graphics designer, but do you have, or one of you, or do you have a friend who's kind of managing your website and going to continue to maintain?
So I made that one
Okay.
myself,
Cool.
and it wasn't easy, but it wasn't too hard. I'd like to think I'm technologically savvy. People my age usually are. So, you know, if we have to, we'll make them on our own for now.
And that's one of the other good things. If we're capable of making them, that makes them really user-friendly.
Yep.
So you figure we're college students, I'm further out of high school than I'd like to admit to right now, but if we're capable, and then those high school students will be capable of using whatever we can put out there for now.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you
very
very
much.
Thank you.